Money isn't just paper, ink, or numbers in a database. It's condensed belief, crystallized energy, a divine substance made visible. While the world sees it as currency, I know it as condensed conviction. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Money is God in action when rightly spoken over. And when you bless it with faith, you're not worshiping mammon, you're commanding it. There's a sacred stillness that descends when you hold cash. What you touch isn't just matter, but mind, and mind obeys the voice of the Spirit. Many are afraid to touch money, believing it's unclean. But I tell you, it's the fear of money that keeps it away, not the love of it, but the fear of being powerful with it. When you hold cash, don't look at it with guilt or lack. Look at it with dominion, for it came from God, and to God it returns. A woman once came to me with only $2 to her name. She was terrified to spend it, seeing it as her last. But I told her, that's not your last. That's your seed. That's your symbol. Bless it, love it, multiply it with the word. Jesus didn't lament over the loaves and fishes. He blessed them, and in the blessing, they increased. So we took those $2, and I said, we bless the $2. We declared that you have the magic purse of spirit. It can never be depleted. As money goes out, immediately money comes in, always crammed, jammed with abundance, under grace, in perfect ways. She felt her purse heavy with money. Shortly after, she received a gift of $6,000. It wasn't the paper that multiplied. It was the word spoken over it that released the abundance. Money responds to conviction. So when you hold cash, you're not holding a transaction, you're holding a throne. The question is, who is seated upon it? Lack, fear, hesitation, or the Spirit of truth? Every dollar you touch is a servant awaiting instruction. You can dismiss it in silence, or you can bless it with divine speech. The choice is always yours. But hear me well, until you can hold money without flinching, you will never command it without limitation. The external reflects the internal. Your hand must be steady, and your heart must be clean. When I say this while holding cash, I don't mean superstition. I mean, step into spiritual authorship. Take the word and write your covenant upon the paper, and it shall not return void. Say with me now, this is not my last. This is my first. This is the door, not the dead end. I bless this money. I multiply it with my word. It is God in substance, and it obeys His voice in me. Speak it until your hand tingles with spiritual certainty. Speak it until your wallet trembles with new life. Speak it until fear flees and faith ignites. You aren't begging money to stay. You are summoning it to return, multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. That is the silent power of physical money when held by a spiritually vocal soul. The true nature of money. You've been deceived if you think money is merely paper. You've been misled if you think its value lies in coins, cards, or digital numbers blinking on a screen. For the law of substance is this: money is not material, it is metaphysical. It is not a product of banks. It is a projection of belief. Scripture plainly tells us, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Substance, then, is not matter. It is spiritual certainty. It is invisible reality pressed into form. So what is money if not substance shaped by faith? I say to you now, as I have said before, money is condensed faith. It is the spiritual made usable. It is the invisible, crystallized by conviction. It is a sacred symbol of circulation, the divine outpicturing of how you allow God to flow through your belief. Some look at a dollar and see lack. Others look and see control. But the awakened soul looks upon a dollar and sees movement, flow, response, divine echo. It is never the paper that holds power. It is the decree that fills it. You can hold a blank check and still be rich in consciousness. You can clutch a stack of bills and be poorer than the beggar on the street. For substance does not answer to appearance. It answers to speech, to identity, to your spiritual vibration. A woman once told me, Florence, I feel richer with one spoken dollar than I did with thousands in my account because now I know what it obeys. And I told her, you have understood the law. For substance is not what the world prints. It is what the soul commands. Money is not stagnant. It is spiritual circulation. It is divine compensation in motion. Like blood, it flows where the heart is open. Like breath, it enters where fear has been cast out. And like rain, it responds to seed. So don't look at the paper and call it static. Don't curse the coin. The moment your tongue labels money as evil, dirty, or elusive, you sever your own supply line. You declare against your own dominion. Say instead, this money is spirit condensed, it is love circulated, it is faith rewarded. Hold the bill and say, you are not mine. You are God's servant obeying my decree. This is not poetry, this is power. For until you understand the nature of money as substance, not symbol, you will remain bound by the illusion of shortage. But shortage is not truth. Scarcity is not law. The true law is multiplication. The true law is expansion. The true law is, as you believe, as you speak, so shall it be done unto you. Now hear me well. If money is condensed faith, then the greater your faith, the greater your flow. Don't ask for more dollars. Ask for more dominion. Don't plead for more income. Proclaim your oneness with supply. Your words mold substance. Your faith directs its form. And when you finally speak in alignment with truth, you will find that your wallet is not a container, it is a current. It moves as you speak. It listens when you bless, and it multiplies when you treat it as holy. The secret fear of holding money. Let's expose a secret fear. One so common, so concealed that it hides beneath even the most spiritual intentions. The fear of holding money. Not the fear of not having it, but the fear of having it too long. The fear of keeping it. The fear of being seen with it. The fear of becoming visible in wealth. Most were not raised to receive. They were raised to release, and to release too soon. From childhood, we were told, don't flaunt it, don't hold on to it, easy come, easy go. We were taught that money slips, money burns, money spoils, that money changes people, ruins families, invites judgment. And so, even when it comes, there's a secret tremble in the hand, the fingers curl tightly, not in dominion, but in anxiety, not because they are greedy, but because they are guilty. They have been trained not to possess, not to enjoy, not to retain, only to need and to beg and to apologize for wanting. And so money becomes a visitor, not a resident, a guest, not a grounding. It walks in and is quickly shown the door because no one ever trained you to let it stay. But hear me now. You are not created for barely enough. You are not fashioned for fleeting supply. You were designed for overflow. You were designed to house abundance with dignity and to keep wealth with honor. The emotional tension many feel around holding money is not rooted in truth. It is rooted in ancestral trauma, cultural guilt, and generational programming. Somewhere, deep in the soul is a child that learned, if I have too much I will lose love, or, if I look rich, they will think I'm bad, or, if I prosper, I will be alone. So what do? They spend it before it multiplies. They hide it before it blesses. They reject it before it roots. They fear what is good because they were never taught how to hold it without punishment. But I am here to tell you that God does not punish possession. He punishes misuse. And the soul that blesses money with clean hands and pure speech shall not suffer for it, but shall increase by it. It is not dangerous to hold money. It is dangerous to fear it. For what you fear, you repel, and what you bless, you receive. So take the cash in your hand and speak the reversal. I was not made to release too soon. I was made to receive long enough. Say it again with your whole voice. Say it until your nervous system calms. Say it until your fingers stop twitching. Say it until your soul stops apologizing for overflow. For money is not the enemy. Your guilt is, and when you renounce it, when you revoke the lie, when you bless what was once feared, money will stop fleeing and it will start multiplying. Your voice is the wand when you hold cash in your hand. You're not holding a material object, you're holding a divine extension, a tangible symbol of circulation, a spiritual echo of what you've spoken, believed, and allowed. The money in your palm has no power of its own, but it responds with absolute obedience to the tone of your voice. If you bless it, it multiplies. If you curse it, it flees. If you ignore it, it withers. But if you honor it as divine substance, it shall become your servant, your supply, and your sign. Now listen well. There is no multiplication without instruction, and the tongue is the wand. You don't wait for money to bless you. You bless it first. You speak to it before it moves. You declare over it before it is spent. Your voice trains your currency. Your voice instructs your wallet. And your voice, when aligned with spiritual truth, awakens the law of increase. So take the cash in your hand and say this with full spiritual authority. You are blessed. You are multiplied. You are magnetized. You are divine circulation, and I release you only with praise. This is not a mantra of ego, it is a command of spirit. You are not speaking to paper, you are speaking to the spiritual template behind the paper, the pattern, the blueprint, the unseen root that determines its fruit. Don't say it once and expect dominion. Frequency matters, rhythm matters, the tongue must be trained like a muscle. You don't lift once and expect strength. You don't speak once and expect overflow. You speak daily, you speak faithfully, you speak as a steward, not a beggar, and your words begin to instruct reality. Your words build patterns, and your patterns attract wealth. Bless the $10 bill with the same tone you would bless a million, because the law does not respond to amounts. It responds to atmosphere. It responds to the tone of your dominion. Speak to your cash as if it were an honored guest, a divine assignment, a spiritual ally. Say, I don't just spend, I send. I don't just buy, I bless. And you will find that money begins to flow toward the voice that treats it as sacred, not scarce. For what you hold, you mold, and what you bless, you multiply. So speak, and speak often. Speak until the dollars obey. Speak until fear bows. Speak until the cash in your palm glows with spiritual memory of the law it just heard. The divine template of multiplication, been trained by the world to believe that money multiplies through labor, strategy, and saving. But I tell you, now, money multiplies through speech, through reverent instruction, through the spiritual law of multiplication, which predates all human economics and bypasses all worldly logic. This law is not modern. It is eternal. It is divine. It is the same law that Jesus enacted when he took 5 loaves and 2 fish, lifted his voice to heaven, gave thanks, and spoke the blessing. Then, and only then, it multiplied. He didn't ask. He didn't analyze. He declared. He spoke over the substance until it expanded. And that is the model, the divine template, the metaphysical method. You speak before the overflow, not after. You bless the little and watch it grow. You look at what the world calls not enough, and you speak to it as if it were already multiplied. Let me teach you now the core truth of this law. Your words are vessels, they are containers for increase. And just as a cup holds water, your phrase holds the pattern for provision. When you speak over money with faith, you create a mold for more. You build a landing place for overflow. You command heaven to pour itself into form. Say aloud with me now, my words are vessels, and they return filled. Again, my words are vessels, and they return filled. You must understand this. You are not begging God to send increase. You are building the container with your mouth, and whatever you speak with conviction becomes the structure through which your supply flows. If you say there's never enough, you build a tiny bowl. If you say I can't hold on to money, you build a sieve. But if you say I walk in divine circulation, I release with joy and receive with ease, then you build a well without bottom, a vessel that cannot be emptied. Your substance responds to sound. Your wallet listens to prophecy. Your cash is waiting for assignment. And when you speak over it, not from fear, but from faith, it obeys the vibration and multiplies according to the pattern you declare. So don't wait, don't withhold your words. Speak over every bill, every coin, every bank notification. Say, you are not just money, you are blessed substance, you are spoken increase, you are assigned to return, multiplied. For this is the tongue of the multiplier, this is the mouth of dominion, and this is the law of multiplication fulfilled by the one who speaks with authority. The ritual of activation. Now I give you the ritual, not as superstition but as spiritual alignment, not as tradition but as activation. When you speak over cash, you're not performing a trick, you're entering covenant with substance. You're reminding the invisible that you are a vessel of increase. And like the prophet who stretched over the child to bring him back to life, you are stretching your word over the thing the world called dead and commanding it to rise. Let us begin. Step 1. Clean the space. Silence the mind. Don't rush this. Make the place where you speak holy. Light a candle. Clear the clutter. Let the air be still. Turn off the voices of the world and tune yourself to the frequency of heaven. You cannot multiply in noise. You must enter the sanctuary of command. Breathe deep. Let your nervous system drop. Say in your spirit, this is sacred ground. Step 2. Hold the cash in your left hand. The left hand is the receiving hand, the hand of memory, the hand of soul. As you hold the bill, whether it is a $1 note or a $100 note, recognize it as spiritual substance, not paper, not government, not decimal, but substance, the condensation of faith, the echo of circulation, the answer to a former word now come into form. Honor it. Step 3. Place your right hand over your heart. Your right hand is your sending hand, your command hand, and your heart is the altar. Let them meet. You are joining authority with sincerity, command with love, decree with purity. Feel your own pulse as you prepare to speak. You are not just saying words, you are announcing to the ethers that multiplication has begun. Step 4. Speak the declaration 7 times. 7 is the number of completion, the number of divine fullness. Don't mumble, don't guess. Speak with clarity and rhythm. You are blessed, multiplied, and magnetized. You are divine supply in motion. Say it 7 times slowly. Let the syllables sink. Let the rhythm cleanse you. Each repetition is a layer of command, a pouring of oil, a setting of tone. Speak it until your voice no longer trembles, until your spine remembers who you are. You may say it aloud or under your breath, but you must say it with certainty, not asking, not wishing, but declaring. Step 5. Close with this phrase, Amen, and multiply. Let this be the seal, the exhale, the release. Amen means so be it. Multiply is your assignment. You are not begging for increase. You are commanding circulation. You are not proving worth. You are fulfilling law. As you say it, release the cash into your wallet, your altar, your pocket, wherever it is meant to go next. But don't release it without blessing. Don't put it away like the world does. Put it away like the Spirit does, with recognition of its divinity and expectation of its return. This ritual is not a performance, it is a practice of presence. The money in your hand isn't waiting for hustle, it's waiting for holiness. When your word touches it, it's not just spent, it's sent. Sent on assignment, sent to circulate, sent to echo the voice that blessed it. So do it with reverence, do it often, do it every time you receive, give, or pause. The hands that touch money without guilt and the mouth that speaks blessing without fear, these are the hands and mouth through which multiplication flows. The power of blessed money. She stood in her kitchen with tears in her eyes and a $10 bill in her hand. It was all that remained. I do not chase, I magnetize. The beggar chases, the aligned attract, and you, child of divine supply, were never meant to pursue with panic. You are the magnet, you are the frequency, and when you walk in rhythm with spiritual law, money finds you by identity, not effort. Say this aloud until your breath believes it, until your spine remembers it, until your wallet begins to respond. And third, what I bless, blesses me back. Every time you bless a bill, you authorize its return. Every time you speak love over your supply, you summon its increase. The world told you that money is neutral. I tell you now, it is not. It is responsive. It reflects the tone of its master. So speak to it as sacred. Call it by name, assign it by law, and watch it return, clothed in favor, dripping in multiplication. These 3 phrases are not to be tested. They are to be trusted. They are not to be said once. They are to be lived. Speak them with authority. Walk with them in silence. And every time you hold money, remember, you're not holding paper. You're holding proof of the word in motion. The cash mirror activation. Stand before your mirror, not as one desperate, but as one destined. In your left hand, hold the symbol of substance, a bill, a note, a dollar that carries the history of circulation. In your right hand, hold your heart, feel it beat. Know that it is not lack you were born into, but law, not begging, but becoming. The mirror before you is not a surface, it is a signal, a gate, a place where form meets faith, and appearance must yield to authority. And the money in your hand, it is not yours to fear. It is yours to speak over. Look into your own eyes and say these words. This reflection is wealth, returning to me in every form. Say it again, not as routine, but as resurrection. You are not speaking into glass. You are speaking into God. For every reflection carries the echo of the one who formed you. And when you see your face beside divine supply, you are reminded the one who touches this money is not random, not rejected, but chosen. Speak directly to your own face. You are the image of abundance. You are the voice of increase. You are the expression of spiritual circulation. Then lower your gaze and speak to the cash. You are blessed. You are bold. You are assigned. you return multiplied. Lift your eyes again and close the circuit. I see favor. I speak favor. I attract favor. This is not performance, it is programming. It is not superstition. It is spiritual saturation. And when done with rhythm, reverence, and faith, the cash mirror activation rewrites both your reflection and your reception. No more speaking lack into the air. No more hiding your eyes from the truth. From this moment, your voice leads, your image agrees, your finances follow. The law of substitution. Every time you speak the word of supply, the shadow will try to speak back. Doubt is a thief of rhythm. It enters not with a roar but with a whisper. What if it doesn't work? That voice, familiar, logical, even protective, does not come from divine mind. It is the echo of appearances, the residue of past failures, the lingering illusion that what is visible holds more power than what is spoken. But I tell you, when doubt appears, it is not time to think, it is time to substitute. The mind may question, but the mouth must command. The law of substitution is your sword. It is the divine override. You do not entertain the fear, you replace it. You do not negotiate with lack, you speak truth in its place. And here is the phrase to plant in the soil of every fearful thought. This word never returns void. Say it slowly, say it loudly, say it as if your whole lineage is listening, because it is. This sentence is not comfort. It is contract. It is taken straight from Scripture. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please. Isaiah 55:11. When you speak with this law, in your bones, the fear must dissolve, the question must fall, the appearance must shift. Fear says, what if this is foolish? You say, this word never returns void. Fear says, but I've spoken before, and nothing happened. You say, this word never returns void. Fear says, you don't deserve abundance. You say, this word never returns void. You see, the law is not emotional, it is exact. It does not reward tears, it responds to truth. So when doubt appears, substitute immediately. Don't linger, don't explain, don't fight with shadows, replace them, and soon you will find that the very thought which once triggered fear now triggers faith. Guard your gates. You cannot afford to speak casually anymore. The age of idle words is over. The mouth is not a toy, it is a throne. Every sentence you speak either multiplies or subtracts. There is no neutral language. In the kingdom of spiritual law, when you speak lack, even in jest, you authorize delay. When you say, I'm broke, I can't afford it, money doesn't grow on trees, you are not just expressing frustration. You are sowing a field of famine, and the harvest will obey your mouth. But when you speak only multiplication, supply, and release, you align your words with divine circulation. You turn the tongue from a weapon of worry into a wand of wealth. You build momentum with your mouth. Here is your training. Don't describe lack. Don't echo fear. Don't repeat phrases that curse your own supply. Instead, condition your mouth to prophecy provision. I am a walking vessel of divine increase. Money flows through me and back to me, blessed and multiplied. Every dollar I touch expands. I bless my bills. I speak to my wallet. I declare overflow. When your mouth is disciplined, your life becomes deliberate. This is not about forcing belief. This is about forming a habit of truth. The more you speak multiplication, the more you see it. The more you see it, the more you bless it. The more you bless it, the more it returns, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Watch your words, beloved. Every joke, every aside, every casual curse you place upon your own money is a reversal. But every declaration of faith is a seed, and the law does not mock you. It fulfills what you speak. Your words are gates, and some gates must never be opened again. There are phrases that may feel harmless, even relatable, but they are poison, dipped in familiarity. These are the phrases that block supply, delay manifestation, and invite stagnation. And they must be banished from your vocabulary forever. The first, I can't afford that. This is not humility. This is limitation, dressed as logic. When you speak these words, you announce to divine substance, there is no way. But the moment you say it, you close the door to unexpected channels. Instead, speak the law. If it is mine by divine right, it appears in perfect time. The second, money goes to fast. This is the language of leaky consciousness. You are declaring instability, insecurity, and fear of loss. And what you fear, you magnetize. Replace it with, money flows to me richly and remains under divine direction. And the most dangerous of all, I'm broke. To declare this is not to describe a condition, it is to accept an identity. Broke is not your name. Lack is not your inheritance. Never again attach the I am to anything you do not wish to embody. Instead, declare, I am a vessel of supply. I am divinely funded at all times. These phrases are not just bad habits, they are verbal contracts with insufficiency. And the law cannot bring abundance to a consciousness locked in contradiction. You cannot serve both truth and tradition. Cancel every phrase that echoes lack. Replace it with rhythm, law, and divine certainty. Train your tongue, and the world will respond, because money does not just follow work, it follows word. Seed and harvest. He was down to his last few bills. Rent was due in 4 days. The temptation to panic, to plead, to spiral into old thought loops clawed at his mind. He had been here before: the fear, the shame, the bargaining with heaven. But this time, he did something different. He took the cash in his hand, closed the door, and said aloud, "This is not just rent, this is seed." He had read the principle that spoken word blesses substance, that your words are not commentary, they are causation. So he blessed the bills, he thanked God for supply, he whispered, "This multiplies under grace and in perfect ways," and he repeated it, not with begging, but with spiritual certainty. Within 48 hours, an old client reached out. A friend had referred him without being asked. A new project was offered, and the deposit covered twice what rent required. There was no stress, no scrambling, only a flow that came through the channel of faithful speech. You see, he didn't just speak over money, he rewrote what money meant. It was no longer survival. It became signal, evidence that divine mind was moving, responding, releasing. His rent money became more than enough because his mouth declared it as such. The world would have told him to hold tight, to fear, to wait. But divine law says, speak to the seed and call forth the harvest. And so he did. Let this be your reminder. You are never down to your last. You are always holding possibility. And when you name it as seed, it knows how to multiply. The law of circulation. Fear makes people grab. Fear makes people grip. Fear whispers, you better hold on tight. This might be the last. And in that moment of spiritual panic, they unknowingly cut off the flow. Money is not meant to be hoarded. It is meant to be moved, blessed, declared, circulated, and anything that is forced into stillness by fear begins to decay in consciousness. I say unto you, don't clutch, declare. The law of circulation is divine. Just as blood must move, just as breath must flow, so too must money pass through hands anointed